Hey, what's up, ladies and gentle-tubers? Welcome back to the eveRide channel. Today we are talking about some pretty important measures to take to keep yourself and your riding buddies safe out on the trails. Now, this is more of a PSA video than the normal, entertainment or tutorial videos. And Travis and I want this video to reach as many people as possible, not for views or YouTube, whatever, but actually to help other riders avoid situations like this. So this is real footage of an actual emergency situation, and even though there's no blood or carnage, there is a floppy leg. So viewer discretion is advised. But this last Thursday, my friends and I were riding a pretty tough section of trail, and a very common low-speed fall that every dirt rider has experienced broke my friend Travis's leg in 3 places. Now, I'm not any kind of medical professional, and this isn't medical advice. This is just some hindsight to a hard scenario. So while I was riding back to town to get some help, I had a lot of thoughts go through my head, and what you're about to hear are some of them, and also some of the thoughts that Travis had as I visited him in the hospital. First of all, last week I released a video on finding groups to ride with, and after the accident the other day, I can't stress enough how important it is to ride with others, especially if you're riding technical terrain. If you absolutely can't ride with others, then at least carry a GPS location device like a spot, or better yet, a PLB or a personal locator beacon. In addition to your phone. Always have redundancies too. Let people know the trail you're taking, give them a map, and then don't stray from that plan. We weren't even that far out, maybe 10 miles, but the cell service was hit or miss in the canyon that we got stuck in, and temperatures later that day reached 108. So with a broken leg and zero shade, that is lethal. Even with 2 friends there to help Travis, the situation could have turned really bad really fast. I would also recommend that if you plan on riding more than fire roads, to get full motocross boots and knee guards with crush protection. Travis's boot seemed like a good dual sport boot, but they were quite flexible with no crush protection, and they were a little bit shorter down the leg. While talking to Travis at the hospital, he really wishes that he had invested in full motocross boots, as the worst break in his leg was right at the point where the crush protection is at the strongest. So he had 3 breaks, and 2 of them were in the location where his leg would have been protected. As you can see, this fall is one that everybody has had. It's a little off camber, the weight gets on the high side, and then you fall. It's just that easy to go from a fun ride to a serious situation. So nobody's immune to it. Travis is a good rider. This doesn't have anything to do with riding ability or going too fast or riding out of control or riding beyond one's abilities. This kind of crash has happened to all of us, and little tip-overs like this seem to happen almost every ride. It's just a case of drawing straws, and every time you fall like this, you're basically dodging the weight of a falling fridge. So in rough terrain and unsure footing, you're not always going to make it out from under that falling weight. Luckily, in this bad scenario, Travis was very well prepared, and Joe is actually a veteran combat medic. Travis had a bag with a great first aid kit, paracord, duct tape, and over-the-counter painkillers, and tools, and all kinds of other good EDC equipment. We used the paracord, the duct tape, and some elastic bandages to bind his boot and leg to the best splint that we could find with the wood available. However, the painkillers could have put Travis at risk for internal injury because they prevent blood from clotting. Aspirin, ibuprofen, Aleve, and the like will thin blood, and if Travis had nicked an artery with the bone, blood thinners could be very, very bad. So Tylenol is a good bet to bring for situations like these. To keep Travis comfortable, it was a matter of positioning. Everybody's going to be different, but we positioned a helmet for Travis's foot to rest against so it didn't flop back and forth as his muscles contracted and spasmed. We also stood in the sun to shade him, and looking back, a hiker's tarp, which I normally carry with me, would have been really useful as a shade and potentially a stretcher if we had access to better lumber. Without a hiker's tarp, though, Travis said that positioning the bike to shade him helped tremendously. And at first, Travis opted to ride back in George's truck to avoid the very expensive rescue costs. When it looked like George wouldn't be able to find us and things started to get really hot, Travis thought about riding back. But he was just in too much pain, and we just really didn't want to risk him passing out while riding or having to put his leg down. It was just so risky. So in the end, George did find us, and he brought the paramedics. And in hindsight, getting to the high point with cell service and calling the medics from the get-go would have been the best course of action. It's just such a shame that emergency medical services are so costly that people would rather wait in the heat with that tremendous pain and risk further injury just to avoid those costs. First you have a physical hardship, then comes the financial hardship from the medical services, and then missed work. So if you'd like to help Travis, I will have some posts on Facebook with updates on how he's doing, and we'll set something up to help Travis get back on two wheels. Because really no rider should be stuck out here in the wild and then have to worry about insurance and finances when really his life is in jeopardy. Travis does have good insurance, but the deductible is very high. So hopefully you take a few things away from this video. Ride with friends and carry the following materials in your EDC riding kits: a hiker's tarp, Tylenol or other painkillers that don't thin blood, lots of paracord, duct tape, and at the very least a basic first aid kit. A personal locator beacon is also a great idea, and really $260 plus medical expenses is well worth the money to save your life or the life of a friend in a dire enough situation. And a good solution just to keep things inexpensive is to ride with a group and then perhaps buy one PLB for the whole group. And that way when somebody goes out on a solo ride or on a long adventure, they can take it. But if the group is kind of riding together, then the whole group can use it if one person gets seriously injured. It's a good group investment. So you guys, I hope this video has helped you to be just a little safer, a little more prepared, and have a lot more fun and confidence when you ride. When I visited Travis in the hospital, he said that he hopes this video reaches 1 million riders so that accidents like this don't have to happen to others. And if they do, that they know what to do in that situation. And I'm sure Travis would appreciate your well wishes in the comments below, along with any other professional suggestions that you may have for other people who are looking at this video and reading the comments for emergency situations like this. So thank you guys so much for watching. eveRide out. We're just waiting for a truck to come back, and we got Joe, who's actually a combat medic, who's done some combat medic stuff.
So yeah, we basically we couldn't find any good wood. We could only find some crooked driftwood. Guess you would say we splinted the leg, as you can see, as much as we could. I reached in there, I didn't want to take his boot off because that's support. So we wrapped the boot up in there, then we wrapped the stick up on top of his leg to kind of give him more support. And can definitely feel that he has a tib fracture. I'm not sure about his fibula, if that's broken too, but you can definitely feel, in the medical term they say crepitus, you can feel the crepitus in the tibula as you reach down in there. Okay. So we're trying to get somebody to come get him. We did a little bit, as much stabilization with supplies we have, and we're just going to let him elevated, let it rest as long as possible. There's no bleeding. There's not much concern with internal bleeding. He's not getting pools of blood or anything else in there as far as we can see. So we're going to just let him rest till we can get somebody up here and get him out of here.
Cool. So when it came to the meds, when we were still down there, which meds did you say don't use just in case there's any kind of severe internal bleeding?
Any of the NSAIDs, so aspirin, naproxen, Aleve, ibuprofen. You don't want to use any of those where there's a risk that there might be any bleeding, because they make it less likely for your blood to clot. And so if you had Tylenol, that'd be a good thing for right now, but we don't have any. We only have aspirin and ibuprofen. Okay. So we're not going. It maybe dull the pain a little bit if we gave him those, but we don't want to have a chance of nicking the bone, moving around, nicking something before we get him there. Okay, cool. Anything else? Travis, you got anything to say?
Sucks.
Sucks.
The cost of fun.
It is the cost of fun.
Well worth it.
Yeah.